Hi and welcome to tutorial 3, using an impersonal style. In tutorial 1 we learned that impersonal writing is a key feature of the academic writing style. This tutorial looks at impersonal writing in more detail and aims to help you understand what impersonal writing means, how to write impersonally and what to avoid when writing impersonally. Writing in an impersonal way means that you need to put your personal feelings to the side and report on what you read from a neutral perspective. Now this can make your writing seem a bit sort of detached and unfriendly. To create this impersonal style, you need to write in the third person, and that means avoid using words like I, we, you, our, or us. The exception to this is when you're writing a reflective piece of writing, which you might sometimes be required to do. Reflective writing involves writing about your personal experiences, so in that situation it's obviously appropriate to use the first person or I. But for the majority of your academic writing, you're expected to write using an impersonal style, so that's what we're going to focus on here. The best way to explain impersonal writing is to compare two texts, one that uses a personal style and one that uses an impersonal style. Pause the video while you think about how the two texts differ. You probably noticed that the personal example uses the words I, you and us, while the impersonal text says the same thing without using those personal words. Notice how the writer's opinions are quite obvious in the personal example, whereas in the impersonal example, the writer's sort of presence in the text is much less obvious. Because the third person has been used, text seems sort of detached from the writer. So this detached style is what you should be aiming for in your written work at university. To give another example that would be relevant to essay writing, rather than writing, in this essay I will investigate, it'd be more appropriate to write, this essay investigates. So you're taking yourself out of the sentence. Similarly, instead of stating, we can conclude that, it'd be more appropriate to write, it can be concluded that. Other words that you should try and avoid in your writing are emotive words, words that make your personal feelings obvious. So for example, it would be inappropriate to state, it is disappointing to learn that, or these statistics are shocking, because it would look as if you were disappointed or shocked. Remember here that the idea is to present your writing in a neutral way, that's based on the evidence rather than on what your personal feelings are. Writing in this seemingly emotionless and detached way can actually be really difficult in a subject like social work though, where it's likely that you'll be given topics to write about that generate maybe some quite strong feelings based on your personal experiences. So here you do have to try to put those personal feelings to the side and base your writing on what you read and the evidence. It's really important to note here that although you shouldn't make your personal feelings obvious when you write, you are often in assignments being asked to give your opinion or come to some kind of conclusion on a topic. And this can cause confusion because, well, how can you give your opinion if you're not allowed to say what you think, you might ask? Well, this is where it gets a little bit tricky. But the answer is that you can give your opinion without using the word I, but you do it indirectly. For example, consider the essay question, should marijuana be legalised? Read the made up example in the next slide and notice how the writer has given his or her opinion without using I. Again, you can pause the video while you do this. Notice that although the writer doesn't say they don't think that marijuana should be legalised, it's actually obvious that this is what they think. The writer has given his or her opinion without using I, by presenting the evidence that supports his or her point of view and showing how another opinion's weaker. So you give your opinion indirectly in the way that you select and present the evidence. So to summarise, academic writing is impersonal, so you should write in the third person and avoid using I, we, you or us unless you're writing reflectively. Avoid using emotive words that make your personal feelings obvious. And finally, show your opinion by using the evidence that supports your point of view and showing how other opinions are weaker. We'll learn more about using evidence in academic writing in some of the following tutorials.